All right, international peeps, we are live once again, two times this week. We got Mark and Dave. Mark is in the Europa over in London. Dave is in the VA, Virginia. I'm
Oh
over here
yeah,
in Annapolis. Beautiful day today. Mark, how's the weather over there?
it's good, man. It's a little bit colder now. It's about 70 Fahrenheit or so, but it's nice.
Yeah, good. And Celsius, you know when somebody's not from here when they actually use the word Fahrenheit. Makes sense.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's about
Uh,
20 Celsius, you know. So see how I did that
and
conversion for you guys? That's forward thinking.
I appreciate you, man. We needed
Yeah.
that. So today is our last segment on supplements, and we're going to talk a little bit about performance supplements. Actually, a lot of it about performance supplements. So if there's anything that we missed out, I know we had some questions about creatine and different things like that. If there's anything that we missed out because there's a wide variety of supplements, let us know, and we'll touch base on it. Whether we'll put a post down or we'll do another video, or whatever the situation might be. But other than that, I'm going to turn it right over to Mark because ready to talk about performance supplements because this is his stuff. So, Mark, it's all yours, and we'll be standing by.
Cool, man. Thank you very much. So, the reason that we decided to talk about performance supplements is somebody, and I can't remember the name, apologies, mentioned creatine, I think, in one of the first talks.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start on the subject of creatine. Creatine and caffeine are the two most researched supplements in the world. So, there's more research papers, studies on creatine and caffeine than anything else. And the reason why that is that they both work. So, creatine and one of the best forms of creatine to take is monohydrate, and that's the most common that you tend to see. It can be a performance enhancing supplement in terms of it can help increase lean muscle mass and it can help increase your power or your power output or the amount of weight you can lift or strength. There's been again thousands of different studies done. Some are saying it improves strength, some are saying it improves power, some says it improves muscle synthesis. I think what it does very well is the latter. So it helps improve muscle synthesis, which basically your uptake of your protein. When you're talking about creatine, people might have heard of creatine in terms of energy systems. So you kind of got your three main energy systems in your body. You have what's called your anaerobic alactate, or it's known as your ATP-CP. So that stands for adenosine triphosphate creatine phosphate. So what that basically means is you use creatine or creatine phosphate as a form of energy within your body. So it's utilized within the mitochondria to make energy. So what creatine can be used for is to help replenish those basic stores. So when you talk about your ATP-CP or your alactic energy system, you're thinking of a 0 to 10 second, or sorry, a 1 to 10 seconds worth of work. So let's think of Usain Bolt doing a 100-meter sprint. So a sprinter or any type of athlete that's doing a power-based event or explosive-based event, so think weightlifters, shot putters, sprinters, they will benefit from using creatine. A lot of times people talk about the downsides, and I think people get really confused with creatine. They think it's anabolic steroids, or they think it's crazy. Categorically, categorically, if you take creatine, you will put on weight.
Yeah.
Categorically. So for a lot of, I mean, for anybody, but for a lot of females, it might not be for them. I give it to females, but I stipulate, hey, you're gonna put on weight. Now I'm not talking a crazy amount of weight, but you're likely to put on around about 1 kilogram of muscle. 1 kilogram of weight. What that is you have more water retention in the muscle. So your muscle is about 80% water, and the more you can get that fluid pump going to your muscle, your sodium potassium pump. Dr. Brian Walsh talks loads about that.
Hmm.
The more muscle size you're going to put on, the healthier the muscles you should be, and the more you're going to be hydrated, etc., etc. Another myth about creatine is that you need to creatine load. So people say you need to take 15 to 20 grams of it a day. That's not true. So usually 5 grams of it, which is a pretty small amount. I usually take it post workout because in with your workout shake helps that protein synthesis. So ideally, you should take it with some protein or with some carbs, whatever you have, because your protein will elicit that little bit of an insulin spike, which is going to help shuttle make that creatine work a little bit more effective. What I say to people is you try and cycle your creatine. So I would recommend to do maybe about 2 months of that, or 2 to 3 months of creatine. Then I would switch to something called beta alanine for about 1 month. So beta alanine is very good in terms of it helps lactate buffering, so it helps your muscles work harder for longer. It helps your body get rid of lactic acid to a certain extent, and it's also very good for keeping carnosine in the muscle as well. So it has huge roles on fatigue levels and such like that. The key thing is with beta alanine is to take around about 2 grams maximum, particularly when you're first starting. So what I would say is you take about 1 gram before you train and 1 gram during or after. The reason why that is a side effect of taking beta alanine is you can get what's called paresthesia. That's like a very insane scratching of the skin. So my friend and mentor, a guy called Owen Lacey at the Irish Strength Institute, there's a very funny story of him. There's guys that work there that love playing practical jokes all the time, and he was presenting. He's a very good presenter, and he has a very severe or very short tolerance to beta alanine, shall we say. He can maybe have 0.5 gram, and he's like, ugh! And the boys spiked him with 20 grams of beta alanine during a talk. And he was like standing there sweating, like nervous. He's seeing like shadows everywhere, and he was dying. So be very, very hesitant with how much beta alanine you use.
Okay, well, that's all good points, man. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm more of a point where creatine, when I refer to clients, and a lot of the times it's more for athletes and actually more my spec of clients, and I use it more of as an energy product
Yep.
than a muscle building product, and it
Yeah.
does have multiple benefits. So, being that you were talking about, protein